Hey yo, it's your boy Monster Man Rocco.
It's your boy Swagger Rock.
This is Snack the Ripper.
And you have to go, you don't know.
This is Master Ace. You are now rocking with the best. Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records Radio. Let's go.
Breaking Records Radio.
Press 5 now, how you check Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man. Radio is like the place to be. I don't know. Fuck strange music, dude.
You know, there would always be black kids with boombox. So, like, I could look out my window, and there would be black kids dressed the way that we see in the 80s, Gazelles, Adidas, and they would have the boombox, and I would hear, you know, it's like a jungle sometimes. It make me wonder what the kids going under. I would go to sleep hearing 80s hip-hop being played out my project window building.
Yeah.
So it kind of serenaded me as a little kid to end up being hip-hop. I was kind of being marinated mentally at a very young age in that. And what was crazy about my projects is...
Was that when were you living in Canarsie at that time? Or was that...
Canarsie later. I grew up I moved into the projects at 6.
Okay.
So I lived in the projects for a good 7-8 years or whatever. So my whole childhood was raised in the projects to basically learn shit. By the time I went to Canarsie, I wasn't really learning anything. I was already ill already. I had already been brainwashed into being kind of an aggressive person I would become based on my experience in the project, which was a lot of beef.
Yeah.
I didn't get into a lot of beef in Canarsie because it was a regular house. It wasn't projects. When you're in projects, the reason so much drama happens is because it's people on top of people, all next to each other, buildings. It's a lot. There's less of that separation. You know what I mean? Everyone's in everybody's fucking business. You know, it's just not like that when you live on like a block and there's houses. It's because when I moved in that environment, things became a lot more quiet.
Yeah.
You would have to almost leave your house and then go to the park in the area. When you're in the projects, the park is there. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a different kind of fucking upbringing.
You got to walk the park to get to your fucking front door to walk.
Not only that, I didn't have, you know, half a projects of blacks living with me that I'm interacting like the projects. When you moved into Canarsie, it was more white at that point. So, you know, like it was forced to interact with other cultures in the projects from a very young age. My best friends as a little kid were black kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was no racism, not amongst us as the kids. We liked each other. We were all playing G.I. Joe. You know what G.I. Joe is?
Oh, yeah.
We were all playing G.I. Joe. We didn't give a fuck. You're black, I'm white. You're Jewish, you're not.
Yeah.
It was like, what G.I. Joe you got? Oh, I got Destro. I got Snake Eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're a little kid, it's about what G.I. Joe you got and what Transformers you got.
Yeah.
It's not about fucking black and white. We get taught that bullshit by the parents and in society, and all their anger gets forced onto the fucking kids. But if they just let kids grow up as kids, we would all play with each other and not be racist.
Facts.
So, the crazy thing about the projects is I would look out the window and there'd be black kids and I'm getting influenced by them. And then in a project building 40 feet away on the 6th floor, you would hear this other dude who's a straight metalhead, long blonde fucking hair, everything, destroying his drums. Because the projects was sick, bro. It was literally like metal and hip-hop projects. Glenwood projects was half black, half white. Anyone that was white was probably into either the Scorpions, Metallica, Motley Crue, fucking just all the metal of the 80s, and all the blacks were into all the hip-hop of the 80s. So if you came out of my projects, you were going to be influenced by metal and hip-hop.
Yeah.
Bottom fucking line. That was going to brainwash you. You know what I mean? And you know that shit fucking influenced me heavy, bro. I would be in the projects in my room, and I'd be blasting the Cliff Burton fucking instrumental, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth from Kill 'Em All out the window, wanting people to hear, even the black kids. Like, yo, check this out. Whoever walked by, like I'm trying to brainwash motherfuckers, you know, into Cliff Burton.